Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode 11 of the Arduboy game dev stream. So, today we will implement the bonus crate, like the Bullet crate and Dynamite crate. So we want to implement the pickup and also probably the inventory inside the main character. So counting how many bullets you have, how many dynamite you have, and for making that visible, we will also probably implement the HUD, so to display how much you have. All right, so I prepare a bit the stream with some. With some sprite for the crate. So this is the crate for the bullet crate, and I also have the dynamite crate. So if you look at it small, okay, we'll see how it looks like on the Arduino. So I didn't want to make it too tall, so it's 8 pixel tall, and I want to remember you that the main character is 12 pixels tall, so this will arrive at the middle of his head or something like that. So I think it's the good size, and it's just 8 pixels high, so it doesn't use too char for it, so it's quite optimized, I would say. So these are the two crates I already converted to binary hexadecimal value. So I already have added those sprites in the header file here in the sprite data, and also in the CPP, which they are here. And I also created the sprite for the HUD, and also in the header file, of course. And the HUD, so the information we have to display in HUD, there is 4 types. There is your life, how many life you have, the number of bullet, the number of dynamite you have, and the number of statuette that you collect, which are the bonus. I don't plan to display a score because, well, I think it's a bit too old school, the score. Nobody care about the score, but I want to display the number of statuettes, so just to push the player to collect all of them, basically. So it's and of course those statuettes will be placed at some place which are maybe a trap or maybe a bit difficult to collect. So it's for the replayability of the game. So maybe the first time you play, you just try to escape the level, and maybe the second time you play, you try to escape and collect all the statuettes. So that would make sense. So I think this for information would be interesting to display. So for the HUD element, I have drawn a little heart, like 5 pixels wide. Oops, let me zoom it a little bit. So a heart for the life, which is quite obvious. I almost thought about drawing the hat of the main character, but doesn't look good. And okay, then you have this little statuette here, which looks more like a skull. Then you have the dynamite, and for the bullet itself is more like dash. I mean, so it doesn't look at anything. So finally, I end up drawing a little gun, a little pistol like that, which I think will make sense for the user to understand. So yeah, here are my HUD element. This one have 5 pixel width. This one is 7, so that's why I put it in different file. And I also have serialized them, binarized them here, and put it in the sprite data. Right. Also, to save some time offline out of the stream, I have already created the class for the Dynamite Crate and the Bullet Crate here. So the header file I show you is quite simple. It inherits from a pickup item, of course, and he has so the constructor, the update, the pickup. That's very simple. The bullet is the same, and for the CPP also for now very simple. The constructor with the flag pickup in the constructor, then in the update, if the property set, I draw this bitmap, and when you pick up, I clear the pickup property, as we have seen for the statuette, right? And this is the exact same code for the bullet crate, right? So nothing miracle here, very simple. So I also, to test, you can see already in the screen on Arduboy, it's already running. To test that, I have instantiated one of these two in the map data. So I have created the dynamite crate, the bullet crate here that I added into our array of item, right? And now let's test it, and everything should work fine, right? So let's test it. Okay, I go there and I pick up my statuette. Oh, we have a bug here. Everything disappear. So I wanted to wait for the stream to fix the bug in front of you. So basically what happened here is in the map manager. So let's go back to the map manager. In this draw function, this update function, this draw function, actually it's not the lethal item, it's the bonus item here. All right, and I update the item and then I check the collision, right? So if you first we draw, for example, the statuette, and then we go into that function that will collect it here, pick up here. But then why the other one are also pick up? Well, it depends. It depends. It simply depends on the drawing order, basically. So, for example, if I in the map data, if I put the statuette at the end here, for example, let's try again. If I do that, what do you think will happen? So let's see. Okay, I pick up my statuette. Oh, it works. But if I pick up this, oh, both disappear actually. So it looks like it depends on the order. Okay, actually what happened? So I can undo this, put it back as it was. What happened is, like, you first withdraw the statuette, and then there is collision with that, and we are still in the same frame, so the statuette is still drawn in the frame buffer, and then we draw the crate, but I check the collision and I will collide again with the statuette because the statuette was drawn on the frame buffer. So actually what I should do is, like, I draw the statuette, I check the collision of the main character with the statuette, and if I pick up the statuette, I should erase the statuette from the frame buffer. I should delete it from the frame buffer, right? So I should, for that, redraw the statuette, but with black, with the black pixels to erase it. And then because I pick up, I erase it, then I call I draw the crate and I test again the collision, and now this time the main character will not collide anymore with the stirade because it doesn't exist anymore, right? This may be the proper way to do it with inside our system. However, I feel that erasing what you have drawn in the pickup function seems a bit too heavy on the code side. So instead, what I would like to do is probably check the other item in the next frame, because the game will be at 60 frames per second or 30, whatever. So if you have two collectible items very close to each other, you can pick up one in one frame and the other one in the next frame, and the player will not see the difference, right? Instead of picking in the same frame, picking one, then erase it, and then pick it, the other one, erase it. It's better to, what I'm saying is we can wait for the clear of the frame buffer. We clear the frame buffer, and then next frame we test again the collision. And why I propose to do that is also because on the level design, okay, when we will design our level, we will probably not put two bonus at the same place or very close to each other. We may have a stirade here in that corner and a bonus crate in that corner over there. So the chance that we have two items to pick up in the same frame because they are very close and the character can touch both of them, this is maybe nil. It depends on the level design, of course. And if we have it, then it's fine. We will pick up in two successive frame. So yeah, that's what I want to do that. And you will see the code changes probably much simple. So what I want to do is I want to change this function to return a Boolean value here, and we will return actually we'll return the collision detected. Or actually, I will return the opposite. And basically, the value I want to return here is like if you have picked up something and if you should continue to call me. So check if Frick collide with any pixels from the frame buffer, and if yes, assume those pixels belongs to the specified item, or I should say pickup item, and then pick up that specified item. Okay, at return, if true, that means you can continue to check collision, otherwise that means Rick already pick up an item this frame. All right, and then in the map manager here, what I will do is I will declare this Boolean flag, like should check collision with pickup, So we initialize with true, of course, we want to check that. And then if here, then we call it, and we save the result inside the same variable. So I also did that. You may say this is, or I would say this is not a good encapsulation of code and data, and I agree, or I totally agree with you if you think that. Actually, what we should do, a proper way to do it, would have inside the RIC class or namespace or as a private variable, I should memorize this value. And then if I already pick up this something during this frame, I should just ignore it. So, but if I do that, then I declare one more variable. Here, the variable will be declared on the stack, right? Rather than here, it will be, if you do that here, you will be declared on the heap. So I prefer to declare the variable on the stack, because yeah, the stack is maybe growing, decreasing. So I think it's more optimized like that. So yeah, it's a bit break of encapsulation like that, but actually I just, in that way I can just use variable on the stack. All right, so let's try again that if it's working. So I pick up the, all right, it works. I pick up the statuette, I pick up the first crate, I pick up the second crate, and then I die. Okay, great. So good. So let's commit this. So I will add all this file, Bullet Crate, Dynamic Crate, the image, including the HUD, okay, I can add all these files. Add the Bullet and Dynamite Crate, fix a bug on the pickup. Okay, we have added the instance here. We have fix a bug. I changed some comment here. On the CPP, I just return the collision. Okay, return into my project. To add a kind of animation to the crate to make it more visible. I thought about also making it blinking, but blinking it's too arcade, it's too gamey, I think. So I don't really like it. So in the end, I think it's better to also use the sparks, the shiny star actually, from the statuette, because on the gameplay side you give the same message to the player. It may be unconscious, but you just tell him, look, this crate are blinking or shiny the same way as the statuette. So every object that have this kind of star, blinking star or shiny star, they are collectible, they are pickup item, right? So I think what I should do is implement the same star than on the statuette, but on the crate. And of course, to do that, I don't want to duplicate the code. That would be a waste of memory, of course. So we will need to refactor stuff. So basically, to refactor the stuff, we have intermediate class, which is the pickup class. So the good probably best idea is to move the shiny star code inside this intermediate class, right? So let's go back to the statuette class, and here is basically in the update, right? It's basically handling the shiny star stuff. So we should probably move that into a function. However, we have some, if you remember, we have some hard-coded value here, that depends on the statuette. So, and we may have different value for the crate. So that's fine. We can just create a function and give parameters to that, and every final class may give the correct value. So on the header file, actually all this belongs to the shiny star value, shiny star logic. So we should move all of this into the pickup item class. So I take this, I go to pickup item and move it here. All right, and then I need to declare a protected function, because just the final class will call it. I think it's void, I'm not sure, but let's call it void. So void update shiny star. I call it shine star, so let's keep it. All right, and then we will have some parameters. I don't know which one yet. We will add them later. But then, yeah, in the pickup, where's my pickup item? Oh, I forgot to add it in the item in the project, so let's add it. Pickup, you can see, where are you? Here. Yeah, we just have a header file so far. We will have to create a CPP. Okay. So let's add a new CPP class. All the pickup. All right. Pickup items. Pickup item. Pickup item. Do we have? Yeah, probably. We already have a constructor, I think, in the header file. Let's add it also. And this file, pickup item, okay. Control up, okay. I'll put it here. All right. So, yeah, that's fine. Don't need this. So function, I call it update shine star. I don't know the parameter yet, so that's fine. Let's remove that. Okay. So now we can move from the statuette, here. So we will need, let's not test the property yet in the update, because we can assume that we will only call it if we are inside this if. So okay, I cut all of them, all this, and put it here. Press okay. And I think in the update we should also move the drawing. So the drawing is here because it used the frame ID for sure here. Oops, sorry, that's not what I want to do. So draw the star if needed. All right. So now I can call this function from the statuette. And because I draw it, so I should first draw, because I draw the star in vert color, so I should first draw the statuette, then draw the shiny star. And since I moved the draw in the shiny star, then I should call it after. Draw the statuette, draw the shiny star. All right, let's try if this compile or not. So I forgot something. Declaration with no type. No type. I forgot. Yeah, because I used the constructor. So that's a void. Okay. I need the sprite data. Sprite data. What else do I need? Okay, that's fine. Let's just launch it to test if the statuette has changed or not. If we have broken something. Okay, no, we still have our shiny star. Great. So now let's think about the hard-coded value that we should move in parameters. So obviously these two. So could be char, doesn't need to be big. Min x, min y. Choose, yeah, min. Maybe I need the min x also. Okay, this one is the min x and y. Yep. Min max x, min y, min max y. So first I will check in between min y and max y, but I want to keep the value, so without forgetting it, so I'll write it here, -2, 4. Okay, so that's min y, that's max y. Okay, then if the y position is on top, so top is min y, then we will we choose x, so it's between min x and max x, so that's -2, 3. Okay, otherwise I just do a random between 1 and 0, 50%, so it's still 0, 1. If it's that, this is equal to min, that's a min x, sorry, min y, min x, max x. So that's a min x -1. So outside of the 1 pixels more on the left actually, and that should be max x, and it's not +1 because when you do a random here, this value is excluded, this value is included, this value is excluded. So that's why I want this included, and I want this will be excluded. So actually, to be more logical, I should do a +1 here, and then I remove here, I put 2. So that the interface here is much more logical. Let's write it, by the way. So I would say this draw, update and draw shiny star around the specified how to say, around the specified, around the sprite of this pickup item, according to the specified min and max values. So the included a left border where the star can shine. So max x is also included. It's the right border. And for y it's also included, no, except this one is excluded. Yeah, actually, actually I can just mark it excluded also for the max. Should be okay. Just to decrease a bit the code. Top and bottom. All right. So this one should be 3. So let's move those parameters to the statuette. Where's my statuette? Here. And we need to declare those variables. Here in the header file, let's test it. Okay, so if we look, it seems to be correct. Seems to be at the same place. All right, so now let's do that for the other crate. Start with here, and the crate, the CPP. So the crate are, I think it's still -2 because this is the length of the shiny star. The crate are 11 pixels wide. So 11 minus 2 should be 9. Should be 9 on X, and on the Y I only want to display it just on the crate itself, not on the item inside the crate. So it's a 5. It's a 5. So that means there is 3 pixels on the top, which I want to avoid, and 3 plus 2 minus 2 should be 1. Just 1, I think. 1, and in the bottom it can be up to, it's 6, should be 6, I think, because 6 plus 2 should be 8. Let's try that. Just let's see. So I just give those value -2, 9, 1, 6. Okay. Yeah. I think we are correct 8 for the actually because of the crate, maybe I just want 1 pixel more inside. I'm not sure actually. Okay, I may tune it later, but yeah, it's probably that. So let's copy this for the bullet crate. All right, and then we have all our pickup item shining. Okay, which is great. So I think we can commit this version and then move on to the inventory and the HUD. So we have added pick up the CPP. I think I can save also the workspace, the project. Yeah. So all right, we just call function with the correct parameters here. We call it here also. Then in the header file we have moved all the variable here, and we have added our pickup item, and then in the started we have moved most of the code to the upper class, and same for the header. All right, so move the code, the shiny star to the pickup item class, add a shiny star to the Bullet crate, Bullet and Dynamite crate. All right. So now let's do the pickup, implement the inventory. So obviously we will have to have a inventory in the rig class or namespace, I would say. This is we can make it private, but just create an accessor in the header file. So let's declare those variables here right now. Here. So char is enough for sure. Could be unsigned. Doesn't have to be negative. Or it's so small that we can leave it like that. It's fine. So we have the life count. I don't know. Can start with 5, maybe more. We have the started count. We have the bullet count and the dynamite count, right? All right, so yeah, actually those pickup item will modify those value. So maybe we can make it public, would be easier. I can create accessor, but the project is so small right now. Don't need. So let's make them here. Okay, rig inventory. I guess it should be external. And then I should keep them over there. Here. Yep. All right. So let's remove this. So there's the accessor. So basically, in the CPP of the started, for example, we can just add or rig and started count plus plus, right? So I will need to include rig.h. All right, and obviously I should not start with 5 but 0. Bullet, okay, could be, maybe we may give more than that, but don't know yet how many, 7, 9, 8, whatever. It depends on the level. It's a balance. After that, we balance the game and how many bullets it gives every time. So actually I will declare some constant value here that we may tune later. const char max life or max life count. And so max bullet count, max dynamite count, and also the statuette would be the total number of statuette that we can find in the level, for example. I don't know. I just give 5 for now. We will tune that later. And here, so I can initialize it with the correct value. The number of statuette, I keep it 0 because this is the statuette you collect, not the max count is the total count that you have. All right, so in a static CPP, we still just increase this, but in the crate, basically, the dynamite count, we just don't increase +1, but we reset the value to the maximum. So you replenish to the maximum. We'll do the same for the bullet crate. That's the max bullet count. And here we include Rick. All right, so okay, we have a basic inventory. Let's check if that compile. But now it's not visible. We don't see anything. So okay, it compiles. It's a bit useless, and that's why I'm saying today we should also implement the HUD to display those values and see if they are changing when we pick up stuff. So for that, I will create a new file for the HUD. Right, let's yeah, will be namespace, that's okay. Just call it HUD. And we may have a update function. All right, let's add the CPP. This file implement the display of the HUD in game. Okay, and then let's save that HUD CPP. We should add this to file here. All right. And then in our main loop, we should update our HUD. I think here after the manager You will understand why in a minute. Update the HUD. Update, right, and then I should include it. Include HUD image. All right, does it compile? So yes, it's compiled. So why I want to update after is because I want to, so the HUD, how do we display it? Well, I guess I will just display on the top, one line on the top, and the height of this HUD, I think should be 6 pixels. So there's many reasons for that. First, the first reason is because I want to use some numbers. I want to draw some numbers, and for that I want very small number, the minimum size, the minimum height for numbers, because I want to steal as less as possible of space from the screen to display the level. When you draw numbers, numbers and any Latin character, actually, it's good to have a odd number of pixels vertically, because in Latin characters or numbers you have often a bar in the middle, and bar on top, bar on bottom. So that's why 3 is very hard to do something with 3. 5 is probably the minimum. If you go with 4, it's also difficult to have readable numbers. So I think 5 is the minimum. 5, and then I may need one line, one black line or empty line to separate the HUD from the gameplay area. So that means it becomes 6 pixels. And if you remember, we also have 2 pixels in the bottom to see the floor. So 6 plus 2 equal 8. So that means we also have the exact number of sprite to display. So I think that's the good balance here. So basically, to draw the HUD, I will just draw a black rectangle to maybe erase everything that was drawn before from the gameplay, and then draw the HUD on top of it. So let's do that. Actually, in the Arduboy, there's a function to draw a rectangle, which I forgot. So let me check the documentation. I think it should be like fill rec. Yeah, fill rec, I think. So where is the fill rec? Sorry about that. Fill rec. Fill screen, fill rec. I click on it. It doesn't work. Fill rec. Next one. Okay, so XY with height and the color. Okay. Fill rect 0 0. We start from the top. The width is the full screen width. We have There's a define for that. I think it's just width. Yeah, it's just width. Width and the height I say is 6 pixels, and the color should be black. Okay, so clear the top area where the HUD will be drawn, and then we will draw each sprite from the HUD. All right, so like for example, so I have prepared the sprite data. So I don't know yet in which order I should draw them. I have no idea. You can tell me in the comment in which order you prefer, if we should draw the art first or the statuette first or whatever. Let's draw them in that order. We will see. Tell me what you prefer. Heart, and it should be this width. No, not this width. This width. This height. In white, of course, and the position should be, so let's start at 0, and should be 0 also in Y. Right, so let's draw 4 of them. So the statuette, the dynamite. Actually, dynamite I will put it after. I prefer to put the bullet first. Makes more sense. And the bullet has a special width. So this one. And now the position, let's say, I don't know yet, I should calculate, let's say 780, 130, I just put random numbers so far, so. All right, let's try that. Oh, I forgot to include the sprite data. Include sprite data. Okay, so I forgot what HUD update has not been declared. What? Yeah, in the other file it should be declared. Update. Oh, I forgot to change this. Sorry. So, all right, so let's try. What do we have? Okay, we have our HUD. Yeah. Okay, the position is a bit random so far, but we draw something. Actually, I'm wondering if we should not draw it the opposite way to make it different from the level. That means with a white background and draw them in black. Maybe it will make them more popping out from the level. Let's try that. So white and then black. Sorry, I've just changed this and black here. All right, so yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you prefer. Yeah, I think at least I should move the heart a little bit. 0 is not good, but this is touching the top screen also. So as I just said, the first sprite is touching the top. Yeah. All right. We could also keep it white and black and draw a line. That's maybe also better. I don't really like it. Also, please, you can tell me what you think in the comment if you prefer. Let's put back to black on black background. Just want this move a little bit, and maybe we can just draw a line, which I think it's draw draw fast V line. No, H line, sorry. Draw fast H line, X, Y, width, and color. So 0, 6, no, it should be 5. Width and white. Let's try that. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how to make this HUD look sexy. But anyway, let's move on. We will display the number for this. So, and then it will be the end of the stream. So first, let's draw them. I didn't create it. I wanted to draw them in front of you. So it will be like 10 numbers. So I said 5 for the height. For the width, could be 4. I think 4 is good. So it will be 40 because there's 10 numbers. Okay, let's draw them. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5. Okay. 1. 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, yeah. Could be this one, maybe this one is better. Yeah, 3 4 4 4 5 5 and 6 no, not this one, this one 6 and 7 1 2 3 4 or maybe here 7 8 9 and the 0 0. So actually I should have put the 0 at the beginning. So let's move all of them. All right. 0. All right. So I think we got it. Let's save. Tiny numbers. Use the font of the Arduboy is too big for me. I want really to minimize the HUD, so that's why I will recreate my font for those numbers. Okay, so we go to the sprite converter. Yeah. Tiny numbers. So it will be 4 on 8. Then we go back to this. So I just call it numbers. Numbers. Numbers and numbers. Okay, so the numbers. Tiny numbers for HUD. Numbers, okay. Numbers, all right. The width is 4. The height is black, or it could be. All right, so then let's draw the numbers. I put them in the correct order, and that's why I started with 0. So that means the 0, if the index 0 of this array correspond to the number 0, and the index 1 correspond to the number 1, etc., etc. So it will. So let's go to the HUD to do that. So here we should. So I don't know if we have more than 10. We may have more than 10. So especially for the number of statuettes. So it's better to, I guess, to write, well, maybe just the statuette have more than 10 actually. So we may write a function to draw any kind of number with drawing several times the just roughly draw one sprite. Okay, so should be again so we should again the dynamite, the bullet, and okay, for life, and 2, and we reset crate, we reset the dynamite